Hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Bloodstained Wings, and today I thought we'd do a very colorful painting. The last painting that we did was a very colorful sky as part of our sky tutorials, and this is going to be the last one in the set that I planned on doing. I just wanted to do something a little more galaxy oriented so that you guys can see that the sky galaxy differentiation is very, very mild at best. So to show you a little bit something different that you can do with the same techniques. And that is what it looks like. So if you think this looks like a fun painting, it was for me, please feel free to bring out your oil paints and paint along with us. Alright, as you saw in the intro, we are doing one more sky painting. We're going to be doing something that doesn't quite look like a sky you would regularly see. But this is our world, and we can do what we want with it. So we're gonna start off the same way we usually do, with a little bit of the goop mixed with some titanium white. And I've got canvas paper this time, just to change things up, you know? Can't always use canvas board or canvas, like stretched canvas. Sometimes you're gonna use canvas paper. There are many different kinds of canvas paper that you can pick from. Just make sure that it's one that says that it's for oils. If it's not for oils, the paper may warp. And that's always less than ideal when your paper warps, honestly. It's not the best. Not the best. Now I do find that canvas paper has a tendency to be more thirsty, tends to be more thirsty than canvas board or canvas, like stretched canvas is. So you may need more goop when using this method, which I am today, using more goop than I would usually use, but that's okay. Alright, we've got a nice, even, thin coat of the goop, which again is the Neomaglip from Gamblin'. So that's what that is there. And now we're gonna get crazy, because that's what I like to do. So we are using today the colors that I have on my palette. I've actually just got 3 colors. I might get black into it later, but I think I'm going to do everything with just the phthalo blue. So I have here, this is lemon yellow, this is Verident hue, and then this is phthalo blue. Notice that I have a lot more of the yellow, a little bit less of the green, and then a lot less of the blue. That might actually be too much blue. So I'll show you at the end what's left. But as of right now, I think that's good proportions. So what I'm going to do, first and foremost, is I'm going to lay out the colors that I want the whole thing to have. So I'm going to start with some yellow in the middle, and I'm just going to kind of plan out where I want this to go. Yeah, I wanted to do that kind of thing. All right. Little yellow in the sun, and a little wispy, what the hay is going on kind of thing. So I'm kind of trying to make it look like, kind of like a galaxy painting, honestly. But in a sky. So they've got like a spiral galaxy kind of plan out here, you can see, and you can go a little crazy with the yellow, because believe me, it's very weak as a color, so it will get overtaken by the other colors very easily. So without cleaning our brush, I'm going to go straight up into the Verident hue, and this is a beautiful green. I love this green. Where are we going to start? We're going to start, because this is where I want it to be the thinnest. So if I come out like this, we want this to be more of the like thicker area of where it is. So then we're just gonna come in here and blend. There was still a little yellow on my brush. And I am gonna blend all of this as well, but just gonna try to get these colors in here. I'll grab more of the Viridin. I am definitely going to spend a lot of time blending. And that's okay. We can do that here. We can fully choose that. That's totally fine. Do you have to blend with the brush that you were applying the color with? Not at all. Am I choosing to? Absolutely. Do I have to make that choice? Not at all. This is just what I felt like blending with because I had it in my hands. I do have other brushes that I will be blending it with after we get all the colors on here. I just wanted to... I don't like it when it's unblended. The truth is, I don't like it when it's unblended, so I don't like leaving it. Even for a moment. I'm like, this looks terrible. No, you don't have to adjust. It's not out of focus. It just looks terrible. And that's okay. It will look better once it's all blended. Which is fine. I just don't like leaving it like this because it bothers me. But what we'll do right now is we'll blend it a little bit to make myself feel better. So I'm going to start in the middle. And there is a little light on my brush. And that's going to brighten up this middle section, and that's great. We want that. And now we're just going to kind of blend everything, which, when I say blend, what I mean is that I'm just kind of mooshing the colors about. So I'm just kind of pushing the colors around with my brush, just kind of making sure that the colors all transition from one to another in a satisfactory manner. So I'm just smooshing it about, as I said, just making it look much more blended. And I'm kind of trying to keep this circular kind of shape going on so that the whole thing kind of has this spiral aesthetic. Whoops. Sorry about that. I hit you with my elbow. How dare I? How dare I have an elbow? Alright. Once it's blended in a way that is satisfactory to you, which I'm just going to stop because honestly I can keep going forever, I'm going to go into a little bit of the Phthalo Blue. Keeping in mind the Phthalo Blue is many times stronger. So I can see here that I've got more pockets of space here, so I'm going to start there and then take the excess to those corners there. So, taking the color here. There we go. And I've got a little extra, so I'm just going to put it over here. And I've still got a little extra, but not a whole heck of a lot, so I'll put it over here. I do need a little bit more, so I'm going to grab a little bit more and put it through here. And that's really giving us our kind of spiral aesthetic. Now, of course, we're gonna blend. We're gonna blend it all so that it looks real nice. The secret to this painting right now is just to blend it until it looks something like how you want it to look. So I want it to look like these colors kind of blend into each other. And the only place where you can see them starkly start is going to be where they transition from one color to another in that spiral section. I want it to be like very blended, and I want the corners to be significantly darker than the rest of the painting, which is why I put the blue there, because that's going to be darker than the other colors. Get those good paintbrush sounds. I think what I'm actually going to do is go back into the Verdant hue. And I'm going to add a little bit more of it to where these colors transition together into each other. Just so that it looks a little bit more green and less yellowy green. I want it to get darker as it gets away from the center. And it didn't seem to really be doing that, so that's why I'm trying to add more to make it happen. Oh, I hit you again, I'm sorry. But that is starting to look more like what I wanted it to look like, which is really good. Just gonna add a bit more of the green to there, and then I'm gonna go ahead and grab some of the blue. And I wanna darken this corner, and this corner, and this corner, and this corner. Just wanna darken everything slightly, just to make it make a little bit more sense. There we go. All right, now this looks very spirally, which is what we're going for. So next, we're gonna paint some clouds. So I'm gonna show you the paintbrushes that I'm using for these clouds. So I'm gonna use fluffy brushes. Now you can use whatever brush you would like. I'm gonna use these fluffy brushes. I'm gonna keep one of them for blending, and I'm gonna keep this one for blending, and I'm gonna use this one for the clouds. Are these makeup brushes? Yes. Yes, they are. Could you use makeup brushes? Absolutely. Could you use a 1-inch brush? Absolutely, you can. I'm going for a more fluffy cloud kind of look, so that's why I grabbed the makeup brushes to do this with. Can you use these brushes for makeup afterwards? Probably not. I don't necessarily recommend that. That's just, you know, fair warning on that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to think about this in terms of a spiral. I want to keep this spiral shape going. I don't want to lose that. But I want the clouds to do that too. So what I'm going to do is, keeping in mind the little tiny circles, and have them go in the shape of the clouds or of the sky. So we're going to blend out the bottom. So that'll be the inner side in this case. And just blend that right out. And then fluff up the tops, real gentle like. Now you can see these are different shaped clouds than we did in the other paintings, and that's okay. You're allowed to have any kind of clouds you want. I wanted fluffy clouds in this one, so that's why I did it. I'm gonna add more fluff to these because these did not get fluffy, so there we go, there's some fluff. And then once again, we're gonna blend out the bottom. And fluff up the top. Very gently. There we go. All right. But now you can see there's this kind of spiral action that's happening with the cloud. And I thought that would be fun. So I'm going to keep that action going here, and I'm going to do it a different cloud though, so that this is a separate cloud. There it is. And then I'm going to use this, and I'm going to blend out the bottom. Now, could you do this in any number of different colors? Absolutely. I happened to pick these colors because I thought they looked really nice, and I like the idea of it getting darker as it goes towards the outside. Now, could you do this so that it was like a sunset where it's like purple around the outside and it goes from yellow to red to purple? Absolutely, you could. That's totally an option. And if you do feel like doing a purple version, please, please, please share it in the comments below because I would love to see it. Or in my Discord. I do have a Discord as well. I don't know if YouTube is okay with that, but I do have one of those. Why, I need more paint. I ran out of paint. And that's okay. If you run out of paint, you just go ahead and grab yourself some more paint. Just like that. There we go. Big old cloud up there. And that's what I want. I just want to kind of blend these, have some fun, doing tiny little circles. Paint some happy little clouds. Blend that right out, and then just fluff the tops. Very gently, very, very gently. Be very gentle when you're fluffing the tops. If you don't have a really thick white paint, you're gonna have some problems when you try to fluff the top. It's gonna go places. But if you have a really thick paint, it won't really go all that far. So that's one of those secrets. Let's go out further. Oh, I need more paint. More paint. There we go. Although this part here needs to be filled in. There we go. And then I'm just gonna fluff out this section here. No, you know what? I'm gonna fluff out the entire inner section of that. I think that's gonna be fine. That also helps to blend the colors underneath it, which is always ideal. And very gently fluff the top. There it is. I'm gonna do some more. Just gonna keep up this going around in a circle kind of idea here. There we go. And blending out the bottom. And you do want to start from the yellow and go to the other colors. I've mentioned this many times in my other videos, but the yellow is not nearly as strong as the green, which is also not as strong as the blue. So you want to make sure that you don't touch the blue until you absolutely have to, because you can't go back into those colors once you've already touched them. It will contaminate your brush and you'll have to clean your brush. Which, I mean, you can choose to clean your brush if you want to. That's fine. It just makes the whole process take a lot longer than it needs to. And then you'll get mad at me. You'll be like, she did her painting in like 20 minutes and it took me 45. Well, that would be why. It's because you have to clean your brush every time. There we go. Well, that was a good one. That was a good cloud. Had fun with that cloud. Let's do another one up here. Right up here. I like putting the clouds in the transition areas between the two colors. It helps keep the mystery of each color. And also helps with the blending, which is also good. We like the blending. All right. And a floof. There's some good floofs. It's sad that that one's going to be off the canvas because that one's a good cloud over there. It happens. And we'll do one more over here. There it is. And we're just going in little circular motions to do all of these movements right here. All of this is happening because of little circles. And then same with the floofs. They're just bigger floofer circles. So I'm just in a circle motion fluffing these clouds like that, but keeping it very, very delicate and very light because I don't want to pull too much out of the sky. There we go. Okay. One more? Let's do one more. Why not? Right down here. We'll have a little one right there. And then we'll just blend out its bottom. So we can have a nice blended bottom and then fluff the top. And there we have a spiral galaxy sky, which I thought would be lots of fun to do. And now, because I feel like it, I'm going to go into the Phthalo Blue, which again is many shades darker than the other ones, but I'm going to put little birds, little darkened birds, so that we have a little family of birds. And just like in the last one, there are little M's or little W's. You take a pick which one you want to have. You want to have an M? You do an M. You want to have a W? You do a W. Some people find they're more confident with one versus the other. And I find that sometimes it depends on how my brush hits the canvas. That if it clumps one way, then well, that's the way that bird went, and that's how we're going with it. Remember that if you're using your liner brush at any time, you want to make sure you get your liner brush to a nice fine point. And you want to, oh, that one. See, that's what I mean. That one went that way. You want to make sure you're rolling your brush through the paint. So you're rolling it so that it gets to a nice point. And then you want to make sure that you are thinning it down so that it is a nice consistency, so that it sticks over everything. That's important. And we'll just do a few more over here, so that there's like another little family of birds. I like to have more than one little family of birds. I find that otherwise they look a little lonely. So, I don't know. I don't want lonely birds. I want happy birds. Happy birds, not lonely birds. But if you're a lonely bird, you can feel free to join our Discord or my Patreon and have a lovely discussion with me so that you're not a lonely bird anymore. Because you don't have to be a lonely bird. There. Maybe one more. Maybe one more. Right there. There it is. Actually, I want to do another one. This happens. This happens a lot where I get a little carried away. You'll have to forgive me. Especially when I break out my liner brush. I get really carried away with this. But you can feel free to do so as well when you're doing your painting. And you can have as many little birds in there as you would like. And if you wanted to have it look like someone is laying on the ground and looking up at the sky, you can actually add trees that come out like this, and come out like this, and then come out like this. And then that'll give it a perspective of you looking up at the sky, which would look really cool. But today we're just focusing on the actual sky, so this is as far as we're gonna go. If you are making this a galaxy, you would sprinkle it with stars and not put the birds in then. I mean, I did do a painting with manta rays in space, so really you can leave the birds in if you want. Depends on how surreal you want it to be, and this is definitely in the surreal category. But I hope you enjoyed that painting. That is it for me, and I'll see you guys next time. I forgot to show you the palette. So I had a lot of white left over, and I had a little bit of that left over, and I had almost all of the blue left over. I forgot to show you. And I want to give a quick thank you to all of my Patreons who support me and make sure that this happens. Their names are scrolling by. And if you would like to have this painting, it will be available in my Etsy shop. And all the links are in the description below, as well as the links to all of the paints that I used. Well, not links to the paints, as well as information in regards to the paints that I am using. So thank you so much for joining me, and please remember that you are loved and you deserve to be loved. I'll catch you next time. Mwah!